Well, day 4 of the Whiskey Loot Advent Calendar, obviously the Japan pack. Yesterday's review was very quick and it was also not loaded on time. So I do apologize. For some reason, I have no idea why it didn't load up, but I've raced home so I can have my lunch break and do this review for it because I've actually been looking forward to this one because I actually haven't tried it. I've had many of the Mars before, but I just haven't had this one, which is basically a PX finish, a sherry finish on it. And look at that color compared to some of the others that have come through. Now this is only a 40% whiskey, but the stuff that they have produced and I've had before is absolutely fantastic. Now, the Mars Shinshu, I believe that's the right way to say it, is located up at Nagano area. I've actually been out there before. It's beautiful, especially in the winter times. So it's actually Japan's highest whiskey distillery. It's about 800 meters above sea level, and it takes around 3 hours or so to get to from Osaka as well. Now, originally these guys started around 1985. Please fact check me on that. I think it's around 1985. It's not on there. Oh, that's beautiful. They renovated and they reopened back in 2011. I think they closed down in 2009. And so they did a bit of work for it. And now they're back to a more modern facility of what they have. Ooh. So the Hombo family, I think it was, actually founded it. And they started adding whiskey into their distilleries around 1950. So 1949, I think was the exact date. Ooh. That's an interesting whiskey. I've been looking forward to this one. Okay, so from the information I can gather, it's aged around 2 and 5 years in ex-bourbon barrels, and then it's followed by another 12 months in PX casks. So, getting on that nose, that sweetness coming through in the dark fruits. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so it's giving that typical delicate, light whiskey, but it's giving a lot of that sherry forward to it. Now, something's there that's just a little bit different because this is I think it's a 70% malted barley and then 30% corn. So you are going to get something really different from what the other distilleries are actually doing. I'm not getting much of that caramel, which they're saying on here. Dried fruits, yes. Touch of that oak and a lot of that sherry sweetness, yes. That initial sherry drops out about now, but then the mouth coating still stays there for a little bit. It warms up the mouth fairly well. In a very well balanced, very delicate, very light whiskey. Again, I think 40%, we probably need to bring that up. I think if that was at 46%, that would be a stellar whiskey. But 40%, I think it's probably just a little bit light on the way I like it. Now, for $135 though, it's actually a very good Japanese whiskey. I believe that these are in about 540 bottles in Australia and are about the same in the USA. So it's a very small run for this specific one, which is the Tradition Sherry Cask. Look, this is not a bad whiskey. I think if we just could bring it up to 46, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, Mars do some amazing stuff and they do some cask strength whiskeys, which are just phenomenal. So I'd love to know, have you tried Mars before? Have you actually been to the distillery? Love to hear your experience with it, and I'll catch you tomorrow.